Imagine she said that, but
Well,
then
they're
didn't
probably.
die, and then like lived for a couple more years.
Oh, dude.
She like closes her eyes and she's like, and she's like, oh wait, what? Oh,
Hi everyone, welcome to the Synergy Podcast. My name is Justin.
and my name is Emre. Today we're going to be looking at comments for the question, once you were old enough, what were the dark family secrets you were finally let in on? From the subreddit AskReddit. So Justin, do you have any dark family secrets?
I have a blood-related aunt and uncle of mine, and they adopted this 17-year-old kid, or he was 17 at the time of this. Like they adopted their son. And one morning when he was 17, he woke up, and both my aunt and uncle were literally brutally murdered in the house across the mansion. So
Oh,
they lived in like this huge house, and he slept on the complete opposite side of the house. And he always wore his like Walkman to sleep. Like he would listen to music as he fell asleep. So it's kind of important. I guess whoever killed them paid the police off because they blamed everything on this 17-year-old kid. Okay. So he literally woke up at 17. His whole life changed. They literally arrested him. Okay, took him into custody and started questioning him. Told him that his parents, or at least his father, was still alive. Okay, and that his last dying words were that he did it. 18
so
years go by. So he's prisoned for 18 whole years of his life. DNA technology becomes a thing, and they reopen the case and find out that he had nothing to do with it.
of course.
Okay, so they literally find like blood and like other stuff that was like from like an unknown person, of course. So the whole time he was in prison, he studied in the law library and like came out and wanted to become a lawyer, and he actually did it 18 years later. And
Jeez, dude.
yes, he did get a very large amount of money from the state he sued them for everything that happened. I think it was like around like 30 million or something like that. That's like the darkest family secret that I personally know about.
That's probably the biggest one. Mine isn't as big. It's more about magic. But basically, my great grandmother is a witch, and I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but hear me out. She casted a spell on her daughter's husband because she did not want them to get married, and the husband was actually a very famous Turkish jockey, horseback rider. What she did was she casted a spell and basically said that he would be paralyzed from the waist down and fall off a horse. And the next race, he's always number one, by the way. He's always won. He was like a multimillionaire in Turkey. It was ridiculous. The next race, he's like racing, everything's fine, and all of a sudden, the horse that's been checked to make sure it's healthy all the time, like 24/7, taken care of, randomly just falls, and then he falls with the horse, obviously, and he can't get back up. And turns out he's paralyzed from the waist down till this day. And what all I remember of him, like when I visited him, he just sits down in his wheelchair in the toppest floor of his apartment and just like looks down to the city of Istanbul, and he just like stays there all day. And I feel very bad. And his great grandmother is now
Hmm.
dead, so she can't even like take back the spell or anything. And like that's not the only thing
Magic.
she did. She did a lot more. I'm not gonna get into, but she did a lot more, man.
This was at
Things.
the end of her life, right?
Not really like the end. Like she wouldn't die for some reason. Like people were like, "Oh, she's gonna die," but like everyone was like, "Yeah, she's gonna die," but like she wouldn't die. You know?
Honestly, she probably only died when she wanted to die.
Yeah.
Like, my dad is in a cult. Wasn't much of a secret, but as a kid, you just kind of assume everything your parents do is the norm.
True.
And then someone says, of course, everyone wants to know, what kind of cult is it? Kind of like a doomsday cult. They predict the end of the world a lot and then turn around and be like, wow, your prayers stopped the apocalypse. It wasn't overly malicious or anything. Like, if my mom hadn't told me what went on behind the scenes, I hadn't gone digging myself, I would have found nothing wrong with it.
That's actually the most least intense cult I've ever heard about.
The secret for them would have been like the outside world. I feel like this isn't the norm. You guys are just like, in a cult and everybody else is living like this other like normal life. Like I would be upset about that.
I would be like, damn, that's why I can't make friends.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
thanks, mom
Because
and
we're
dad.
praying that the doomsday didn't happen every other week. Like
Well, good. Thank you guys for your prayers because clearly it's worked.
my aunt started the Communist Party in her country. It got
Oh,
quite large. Her children fled the country, and I still don't know what happened to her. Edit. There's a reason I didn't list the country.
oh my god. Dude, what?
You just
That's
leave that
actually
one up to imagination. I don't even know the timeline of this.
I don't know much history.
I'm lost in the sauce about that one.
My great aunt, with whom we spent much time, confessed on her deathbed to being a serial infant killer during her time as a midwife in the 1940s.
Wow, that is just that is wow.
Bro, like
That's
my
some
jaw
messed
would have
up.
dropped and been like, "Oh my god, she's dead." Imagine she said that and but
Well,
then
the
didn't
probably.
die and then like lived for a couple more years.
Oh, dude.
She like closes her eyes and she's like, and she's like, "Oh wait, what? Oh."
My grandfather's brother left the family business after a feud to sell tractor parts to Africa. When I was adult, I was told that these were semi-automatic tractor parts.
Wait, I don't understand. They just had a feud to sell tractor parts? What do you mean?
Yes,
That's so stupid.
semi-automatic tractor parts.
What is the difference? Like what
They're
so what?
guns.
Oh
They're
my
guns, not
god,
tractor
dude.
parts. In all reality, the feud was about selling guns to Africa.
That's okay, that makes more sense.
What's worse than family feuds about money is family feuds about money and guns.
Mattress firm should know about this. I can get into it. Not really dark, but that I was a planned child. My parents were 18 when I was born, so I naturally assumed all my life that I was an accident. I'd never thought that they were so dumb to want a child when they were 17, 18. I just thought this was funny. Like,
Wow. This reminds me of like a friend of mine when he was 16 years old. Uh, like he really wanted to be a young father, and him and his girlfriend at the time were like trying to get pregnant. Thankfully, it did not happen, but I don't know what's
damn.
going through their heads, man. Two 16-year-olds, they're like, oh, we want to have a baby, like just want to be young parents. Better do it now than later. Like crazy. That to me, that's crazy. Bro, have you seen that show Teen Mom? Like that's a disaster.
Unfortunately, I have, Justin.
The only time that I feel like teen pregnancies ever like even remotely work out is when they have both loving and caring parents, and the parents are rich.
And they're also in a healthy relationship. That the pink vibrating toy I found in my mom's drawer wasn't a face massager.
Oh no, they put it on their face.
They're like, "Oh, mom, this feels great on my forehead."
Don't rummage through your parents' drawers. You know, we
Yeah,
all have
please.
needs.
Folks, the moral of the story is parents have sex too. Doesn't mean you have to go and look for it. You know, my dad actually tried to have the sex talk with me going to freshman year of college in the car while we're driving, and I was like, "Please stop, I can't get out of the car."
My uncle shot a man who was having an affair with his wife. When he was tried, he was let off the hook because the judge was my grandfather's war buddy in World War II. Side
Oh.
note, that judge was also one of the judges on the Manson trials.
Oh. What?
Yeah, crazy. Lucky, very, very, very lucky, dude. I mean, dude, the relief on his face when he like must have realized that like that guy was like his buddy in the war. I mean, damn. They probably killed so many people together already. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like,
Yeah, like one more person. All right.
oh, he was
Jeez.
sleeping with your wife. That's fine. He's like, you should have killed him. I can only imagine what the old man conversation about that would have been like.
I accidentally found out when I was 16 that my mom cheated on my dad for 7 years before they got divorced, and my little brother wasn't his kid. All because I made a
Whoa.
"you're adopted" joke to my dad about one of my brothers, and he was shocked and said, "So you know."
Oh my god. Wow, dude. He like, was just kidding around and ended up opening up a whole can of family secrets.
Oh yeah, dude. If I was a dad, I would have been
That's
like,
rough.
"Oh, like what do you mean?" Like I wouldn't say it right away.
Yeah, what a like nervous laugh, just like
Yeah,
sweating,
yeah,
like, oh yeah, what are you talking about there, buddy?
yeah.
He just
Exactly,
gave it
dude.
away. He's like, oh, you know about your mother? She cheated on me. I always thought my Uncle Dan died in a car accident. Turned out he owed a lot of money to a loan shark. He and his partner were asked to play Russian roulette, and the one that survives can walk away and get an extension for payment. Uncle wasn't lucky.
No, Russian roulette is so scary, bro.
That's like the bank. The bank is
Dude,
pretty much a loan
you know what
shark.
I'm
They
thinking? I was literally gonna say, I was like, the bank might be better. No, probably not better. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like they'll take your house, bro. They'll
they'll
take
take
your
everything.
everything. They'll take your kids. They'll literally take everything away from you.
That's why maybe loan sharks are actually better
Uh,
because you might be able to run away and change your
no,
name or
they're not
whatever.
better. They're sure, but it's definitely like the risk of them literally killing you is there always.
I just get like plastic surgery.
Use some of the money you took from the loan shark.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah. My grandfather wasn't actually dead when he was cremated. He was alive and supposedly felt it. How? I don't know. My mom wasn't able to finish the rest of the story, and I'd rather not push her to tell me, and honestly, I don't want her to know either.
I heard him like screaming or something.
Yeah,
Could you
dude.
imagine? What do
Yo,
you do at that point? Do you stop? That's traumatizing for
very,
everybody
very,
involved.
very. I can't even imagine the screams that you would hear, and I don't want to.
That my dead brother Peter wasn't really a person. My parents would always say when I was about to get in trouble, you know, your brother Peter did that, and now no one knows where he is.
What the Are you serious? That is the worst parenting I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, like my mom and dad are gonna come after me and kill me? Like,
All those things that you mistakes you need to make to actually learn about the real world. This person is scared of doing all of them because Peter died doing all of them. My dad grew and sold marijuana to put me and my sister in private school and college. Take that, college debt.
wow, that's great. I wish everyone could do that.
First of all, weed's not harming anybody, and second of all, dude, if you use that money for putting your kids through
Education?
school, like,
Right.
I'm all, that's fine by me. Responsible weed guy.
The little mouse I had as a kid did not have a happier life with his friends in my aunt's garden. Got sucked up by a vacuum cleaner.
Oh man,
Dude.
that's rough.
It's crazy because my mom actually
Alright.
did this with a bird, with one of her birds by accident, when she was
Really?
younger. Yeah.
Oh.
And I asked her, I was like, did you take it
Were they
out?
like flying around?
No, it was just like walking, I think, on the floor. And I was like, I asked her, I was like, did you take it out like from the vacuum? And she's like, yeah, but it like died the
Oh.
next day. And that's like a black hole for a small animal.
My father bribed a doctor so I can take the place of another child in a queue for a life-saving operation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess you could pretty much assume what happened to the other baby.
That's awful.
But like as a
Mm.
parent though, I mean,
I know, as a parent, of course, you're gonna try everything you can to make sure your baby doesn't die,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like you're risking another baby. It's like the whole ethics
I
thing.
know.
It's like the train thing, like, would you move the train to kill less people? That's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Catch us every Tuesday and Thursday for a new conversation.